Hi, my name is Mason, and this is Industrial Decay. If you bought a new construction home in the United States in the last 20 years, your house contains between 70 and 100 electrical devices installed using a wiring shortcut the building code permits. Today I will show you what that shortcut is, why it is legal, and the one rule that tells you in 5 minutes whether your home is at risk. The Consumer Product Safety Commission documents 5,300 outlet fires in American homes every year. 40 people die in them. The U.S. Fire Administration puts the annual cost of residential electrical fires at $995 million. And when you understand who has spent 20 years fighting the one technology that could prevent half of those fires, you will know why none of this has changed. Walk into the model home. 10-foot ceilings, quartz waterfall island, pot lights every 6 feet. Nobody photographs the 75 receptacles behind those finishes. The outlet is a Leviton 5320 or equivalent. 50 cents at Home Depot. 47 grams. The commercial grade version is $2 and weighs 65 grams. The spec grade upgrade costs the builder $150 per house. Volume builders never specify it. Builder grade is the cheapest device that legally satisfies the National Electrical Code. The legal threshold and the safety threshold are two different numbers, and the gap between them is where the fires start. Failure point 1. The outlet is the wrong product. In the residential model 5320, the hot conductor is separated from ground by a thin layer of plastic. An internal spring clip provides 100% of the mechanical hold on your wire. The commercial equivalent costs $2, uses a screw and clamp pressure plate, and has a laboratory-rated lifespan of more than 50 years. The builder pockets $150 in savings. The residential outlet's mean time to failure is between 5 and 10 years. But the outlet is only the beginning. What the framing electrician did with it is what makes this dangerous. Failure point 2. When I first read the Underwriters Laboratories field testing on this, I put the document down. Pull any builder grade outlet from any new American home and turn it over. 2 small holes in the back, next to each terminal screw. The installer strips the conductor, pushes the bare wire into the hole, connection finished in 30 seconds. The industry calls this backstabbing, or speed wiring. The connection is held by an internal spring clip, the width of a paper clip. Volume builders pay framing electricians per device. 45 minutes saved per house. That connection fails behind your drywall in year 7, year 10, or year 15. It arcs. The arc reaches 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to ignite the craft paper backing on the fiberglass insulation behind the wall. Average residential fire damage in the U.S. is over $30,000. The reason this is still legal is a lobbying decision we will get to. But that is not what makes this so outrageous, because the wire they are pushing into those holes is not the wire those holes were designed for. Failure point 3. I did not believe this the first time a master electrician explained it on a job site. Backstab terminals on residential grade outlets are rated for 14 gauge wire only. 14 gauge is standard for 15 amp circuits, but new American homes use 20 amp circuits in the kitchen, laundry, bathroom, and garage. Those circuits require 12 gauge wire. 12 gauge does not fit in a 14 gauge backstab hole, so the framing electrician forces it. The spring clip gets permanently bent at installation, and the contact area collapses to almost nothing. The connection still passes inspection because the wire does not pull out. The defect is in motion the day you close. This is not a 10-year failure. It is a day 1 failure that takes a few years to ignite, which brings us to the part I have been building to. Failure point 4. The device that would have caught all 3 previous failures is the arc fault circuit interrupter, the AFCI, a breaker that watches for the electrical signature of an arc and that cuts power within milliseconds. The CPSC estimates AFCI devices would prevent 50% of residential electrical fires. The 1999 NEC required them in bedrooms. The 2008 edition expanded them to every habitable room. The 2014 edition added kitchens and laundries. Your home probably does not have them. The NEC is a model code. It only governs your wiring if your state adopts that edition. As of 2024, the majority of American states are still on a pre-2014 NEC. The $49 breaker that would have caught the bad backstab connection is not in your panel. The reason it is not is the next part of this story. So who is responsible? The primary villain is the volume builder, Lennar, D.R. Horton, KB Home, and Pulte Group. These are not craftsmen. They are publicly traded logistics companies, measured in starts per quarter. The cumulative savings per home from the low-cost residential outlet, the backstab installation method, and skipping arc fault circuit interrupters is roughly $700. Across 40,000 homes a year, that adds up to $28 million in margin. Secondary villain. The National Association of Home Builders has publicly opposed every expansion of arc fault circuit interrupter protection in the National Electrical Code since 2008. Their stated rationale is housing affordability. The figure they protect is $390 per home. The figure they are not mentioning is $995 million in annual fire damage. A trade association funded by the industry that creates the fire risk has on its own website fought the device the Consumer Product Safety Commission says would prevent half the fires. That is liability management dressed up as consumer advocacy. Number 3. New construction, but only with a written rider specifying commercial spec grade receptacles with screw terminal connections and combination arc fault circuit interrupter breakers on every 15 amp and 20 amp circuit. Most volume builders refuse the rider. The ones that accept the rider are worth your money. Number 2. A home built from 1990 to 1999 with documented electrical updates after 2014. Ask for the panel permit history. If the panel was upgraded with combination AFCI breakers after 2014, you have moved past the worst of the risk. Number 1. The one that sounds wrong until you think about it. A masonry home built between 1950 and 1975, rewired by a licensed electrician in the last 10 years. Brick walls, no OSB sheathing, modern wiring, spec-grade screw terminal receptacles. Your insurance company already prices that house lower than a 2022 new build. 60 years of claim data. They know which houses burn. Already own a home built in the last 20 years? Do this tomorrow. Turn off one outlet at the breaker. Pull the cover. Pull the receptacle forward. Look at the back. If the wires go into holes, instead of wrapping around side screws, you have a backstabbed home. A full redevice runs $1,500 to $3,000. It's the cheapest fire insurance you'll ever buy. Here's the line. The building code is not a safety standard. It's a liability standard. It protects the builder from being sued. It does not protect you from fire. The cheapest $2 device that satisfies the inspector is what you bought, and the gap between code minimum and fire safe is where the wall ignites. Subscribe to Industrial Decay. Next week, we're inside the breaker panel itself. There is a specific brand of circuit breaker in millions of American homes. The CPSC investigated it twice. It has been linked to documented fires. It has never been recalled. It is still sitting in panels today. We are naming the brand.